All right, guys, welcome on in. It's another episode of WrestleChats with Sharpy and Ray. Ray, how are you, mate?
Oh, fantastic, Sharpy. How are you, brother?
Good, man. Good to see you. I like your shirt. Where'd you get
Thank
that?
you very much, man. Pretty cool guy gave it to me. Whereabouts did you get your shirt from?
Yeah, some pretty cool guy bought it and just gave it to himself. So
I was wondering if I could get a shirt like this more. Where do you think I could probably get one from?
give us a DM and we can hook you up. We're working on a website. We'll see how we go. But enough of that. We're talking about War Games. Apologies, I was away in Bali. Sitting in a pool, living the dream,
Living his best life. There's nothing wrong with that, Sharpy. Good on you, brother.
Apologies, we did miss it.
I had a bit of family stuff on myself, so guys, sorry we couldn't be there, but we all did watch it. So Sharpy, I'm going to kick it off straight away, brother. What did you think of the show? Let's get into the first match straight away. I'm just going to ask you straight off the top, the triple threat. What did you think of the triple threat between Breaker, Sheamus, and Ludwig Kaiser?
I loved it. I thought the match was an absolute banger. Sheamus lately has become probably one of my top 10 wrestlers of all time.
Oh, okay.
I am enjoying his matches that much. There's just something about it. And he's the only title he hasn't won is the IC title. And I think everybody wants to see him become a Grand Slam champion now.
Have to, yeah.
Yeah, so like his pursuit of the IC title, you think he wrestled McIntyre and Gunther at Mania for the title and they had an absolute banger triple threat.
Banger.
I thought this triple threat was almost just as good.
Yeah,
like it was unreal. The physicality and Kaiser just fit in so well. He's always been in the background behind Gunther.
Yes.
But the way he came into this match and he really held his own, I was really impressed. And just
agree.
some of his facials and like when he got like, it was a bit corny, but outside and like Sheamus comes up behind him, looking like he's going to beat the. It was fantastic.
It was.
I thought the spear from Breaker, like diving across the ring into Kaiser, was great as well.
Phenomenal, yeah.
And Sheamus is just so good at what he does. He just makes these matches so good.
Unbelievably good.
I'd probably give it like an 8.5 out of 10.
And I'm going to agree with you straight away. 8.5 for sure. I mean, everybody knows that I love Breaker, but I'm just going to say this young kid is just impressing me more and more and more every time that he's been into the main roster. Ludwig Kaiser, like you said, was in the background, but is now starting to like step up that little bit more and be a bit more of like a main face or main person that's taken his own identity instead of being in the background more. And I love the work that he's doing. Everyone knows that I love Sheamus, apart from when he gets eliminated from the Royal Rumble too quickly.
In about 1 second.
But Sheamus like comes out and just like you said, now in his later times, I think he's given us better matches and he's putting on his body on the line so much more. Love everything that he's ever done, but I'm now loving the new Sheamus that we're seeing nowadays. Fantastic, yeah.
Even just like when Kaiser brought out the shillelagh and whacked him a few times across the back, like the welts that comes, because his pigmentation is so light. Anytime he gets a nick or a scratch or a bruise, it shows up so much more than anybody else. So yeah, that's why I think his matches are so good too, is because they just look more brutal.
Yes.
Like he looks like he's getting the crap beat out of him, and it shows. Like,
well, he is getting the crap beat out of him, so that's probably why.
And he knows how to dish it out just as good as he takes it.
Doesn't he? And that's what I love about Sheamus. He is a rough guy. You know, if you're getting in a match with Sheamus, it's not going to be a held back type of punch. He is going to come in and hit you hard. So you need to hold your own.
Like the beats of the chest when he had them both on the outside. You can see Breaker and Kaiser trying to protect themselves against it. Because this dude that's like 6'6" and he's built like a god is just literally bashing your chest
like
in.
Yeah.
So I think that, but also that's what I think like brings the best out in his opponents too, because they're like, all right, I got to front up tonight because I'm going against Sheamus. I've got to go. I've got to hit him hard. And that's why I think the matches work so well. And I think this is why this match was such a banger too. I'd say it was close to match of the night.
Wow. Okay. Really?
For like that, I wanted Sheamus to win so bad. I knew he wasn't gonna. But just the story that they told, I thought it was fantastic. And yeah, the spear from Breaker at the end was phenomenal. Just the diving like across the ring, caught him in the spear. It was thing of beauty.
This young kid just shows up time and time again. Keep following him because he's just going to be a future megastar. Not a superstar, a megastar for sure.
There's so much that they're going to do with him in the future. And I thought, again, Kaiser stood out really well too. Sort of almost had like a chip on his shoulder and something to prove. And I thought he did. I thought he came to play and looked really good in that match.
Yeah, he did. So. He showed up for sure.
What'd you give it? 8? 9?
I agree with you. 8.5.
Yeah, 8.5.
Yeah, 8.5. There was nothing wrong with it. It wasn't a bad match. You could do with a little bit of improvement, but it's going to be rare for me to say 10 out of 10 matches. But hopefully one day I will, with Breaker still holding that title.
I want to see Sheamus win the IC title at Mania.
Oh!
That's what I want to see, man. I want to see, like that's how bad I wanted him to win that match.
Cool.
Yeah.
I like that. I do like that.
There's just something about it, and like going through like the comments online as well, like everybody's like, "Oh, we just want Sheamus to win it because he deserves it. He's such a good dude."
Yeah.
And he like at the start of the year when he was having that promo with McIntyre and he said, "I'm having banger after." He's not lying.
No,
he is having banger after banger.
Totally
His matches
agree.
are fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure.
So I'm on the Sheamus bandwagon, but also Bron Breakker needs to have a decent run with that title too. None of this flippy dippy shit.
No,
Give him a good
I
run with
agree.
it.
Yep.
So I'm happy for him to keep it as long as he maybe loses it to him at Mania. So we're going to move on to the United States Championship match. LA Knight versus Shinsuke Nakamura. LA Knight defending and losing.
Yes.
Take it away. What did you think?
This took me by surprise.
It took everyone by
Like,
surprise.
everyone by surprise. LA Knight has been on such a hot run lately.
Yeah.
Everything that he touches is just turning to gold. I mean, I would probably say the whole world that even knows anything about wrestling is just, left, right, and center. And it's fantastic for what he's doing. To see Shinsuke come back with the heel turn that he's had with the dark makeup and the dark attire that he's got, it didn't make sense for him to lose it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I just didn't see it. I didn't see it flipping like that at the same time.
Neither.
Shinsuke is an absolute magician as soon as he gets into the ring. Everything that he touches is safe, but not only is it safe, it looks like it's a hard hit as well, which is great. LA Knight just performs time in and time out. It looks great. I'm probably going to say the match to me was 7.5.
Yeah, I'd probably give it a 6.5, 7.
Yep.
I thought they meshed pretty well, and I thought LA Knight looked great. But like they've just released his LA Knight title, and so now then he's not going to have it anymore. So it just seemed like I don't know. He only had that title. He had the US title since Mania, but since SummerSlam. But he only just brought out like his own little custom belt with the LA written on the leather, and it looked kind of cool. And now that's gone.
Really cool. I loved it. It looked absolutely awesome.
So hopefully he can do that in the future, but
I was really shocked. I thought at least maybe another month or two for LA Knight. But
Yep, absolutely. And the weird part is that now that he's come back, I mean, SmackDown that we saw last night, December 2024, that we're in right now, he wasn't chasing after the title straight away. No. It seems like Shinsuke had the week off, and now he's gone up against Solo. So then my question to you is it LA Knight's time to get into the world heavyweight title picture? The undisputed,
what I was going to say,
You know, is he slowly making his way up? Will 2025 be the year for LA Knight? Who knows?
I think he'll go far in the Rumble. I reckon he won't be the Iron Man in my opinion, but I could see him being in like the final 4, the final 5.
I was going to say maybe final 6, something like that, but I don't think top 4. But
and then he could have a good showing at the Elimination Chamber as well. I don't think he's going to win either the Rumble or the Chamber.
Yes.
But I think he will have great showings in both.
Yep.
Set him up for a good match at Mania with whoever he has a match with. And then after that, we've got Money in the Bank, we've got King of the Ring, we've got those things. He can easily win those.
So many things that he can get involved in, which would be great.
And then if he does win the briefcase, then he's got time with it. He can do whatever and then cash it in.
And I think, because I've always said that I thought LA Knight was Money in the Bank worthy, because I could see LA Knight walking around with the briefcase.
Talking trash.
Talking trash.
Just like living the dream with it.
That's what he needs to do.
Yeah.
Now, when he gets up on the turnbuckles, everybody knows that he throws up there. So if he had a briefcase in his hand, he threw up the briefcase too, it would only make sense to me, and he'd make it look fantastic. A couple of little LA Knights in the briefcase. I think it would look great.
Customise it, make it hell LA looking.
Get that merchandise. We love it.
Yes, absolutely. And Shinsuke going forward, obviously, is going to be the United States champion. Where do you see him going from here?
It's hard to sort of say with Shinsuke. I mean, he is
because he's
so
just come back too.
Just come back.
I don't know who he's
going to go
I
against.
love the new attire. I love the dark that they've got. When he comes out, there's the moon on the Tron that they've got behind it. I love everything that he's actually doing right now. And we all know that he is a Triple H guy. Yeah. Triple H does love him. And there was a little while there where he did sort of fade out, which is a bit rough because we know that these guys are world-class athletes at what they're doing. And Shinsuke shows up time and time and time again. So he did deserve a title underneath him, just coming from LA Knight. Didn't see it coming, but where his future is going, honestly, I do not know.
I'm still dirty that he never won a world title, Shinsuke. You know, 2018 when his body was
still healthy, you know,
we're 6 years later now. He's getting a bit older.
He is.
I think that I'm happy for him to win. Like he's won the IC title, he's won the US title, but I think the missed opportunity when he won that Royal Rumble. He didn't have to beat AJ for the title, but he
No.
could have won the US or the United States
Yep.
earlier on, and just, I don't know. I feel like it was a bit of a waste. But I'm glad that he's come back with a new gimmick and he's ready to go. He looks great. I like it. The makeup or whatever it is that he's got on his face looks great. He looks like an evil movie character. I reckon. So,
Good call.
yeah, I think he'll be. I think 2025 will be a good year for Shinsuke. I want to see like AJ come back now and then come up against Shinsuke for the US title.
Get that feud going.
Apparently, some
again.
people saw him at like a TNA show backstage, and he looked okay, but you know, he's still going to be out for a while. So who knows? Maybe we get him in like a surprise entrant at the Rumble.
Get back, AJ.
I know. I hope he's going to be a quick recovery.
Cut down in the weight. Don't do so much.
Yeah,
Off the top turnbuckle,
You can, if you're going to be big, wrestle like a bigger guy. Don't hurt yourself, brother.
Nah.
We'd rather you there than not.
Absolutely.
Let's go to the World Heavyweight
Championship match, Gunther versus Damian Priest.
The lead up was that Gunther's
Confidence has been shaken.
Yes.
And he played into it really well. I believed it.
I liked it.
So did I. A bit of
really
Vulnerability from Gunther, which we've never seen before.
Yep.
And I kind of like it from like a sporting aspect.
Like if you go up in like a boxing fight and you're the heavy favourite to win and the underdog beats you, you are going to be rattled.
Yes.
That's what happened with Cody. So
Cody beats him and Gunther's
going, oh man, maybe I'm not like the ring general.
Yeah.
What's going on here?
Yep.
And then Damien coming out every week, not giving him a single second and just blasting him on the mic. I thought it was a great build-up.
It was.
And Gunther, again, we get the interference from
Balor to cost Damien the title. What did we think?
I'm going to throw it straight back at you, Sharpy. What did you think?
I thought the match was okay. I thought that Gunther played into it pretty well. They didn't make Damien look strong enough. Like I never really believed that Damien was going to win.
I agree, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Agree.
Like I feel like they had to go just a little bit harder to make me like, oh wow, like I don't know,
maybe if there was like a little bit of blood involved or something, and again, that's something we can talk about at a future date, but there was just not enough to convince me that the title was in jeopardy.
Yes.
I thought, okay, here comes Finn. Yeah, I could have guessed that.
Yeah.
And okay, now Gunther's got him in the chokehold, and now it's over. Like, all right, well, kind of saw that coming.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing I didn't like about it. I thought the match itself was good.
Yep.
But again, I never felt like the title was ever really going to change hands.
Totally agree. And I agree the match was good. I mean, Damian Priest, he's a superstar. I wasn't 100% taken into that match, if that makes sense. Because exactly like you said, at no stage was I ever like, well, the ring general is going to lose this match, and then we get Damian Priest to go after that again. I didn't really see the Finn Balor interference coming because I don't know if you can agree with me here, but Damian Priest and the Judgment Day thing, I think it's just getting a bit old. It's getting a bit stale now. I do like the Judgment Day getting tied in with Liv and getting tied in with Rodriguez. I do like these things that are happening, but Damian Priest, you're such a individual superstar now. I think it's time to start moving away from that type of storyline. Don't get me wrong. I know Finn is a superstar and the triple threat that they're going to have shortly is going to look absolutely incredible, and Finn's going to bring the world-class talent that he is. But I'm getting a little bit, come on, guys, you've done your bit. We've had a couple of years of the Judgment Day. You guys all together. Please let's get away from that. Now, I can see there's something on the tip of your tongue, Sharpy. Go for it.
Is it time to end the Judgment Day?
No.
Okay.
No, there is not.
But on that, so we're filming this just before Saturday night's main event, and on the SmackDown before that show, did we see Dominic in the background talking to Nick Aldis?
Oh, I did not see that.
Yeah,
really?
I think I did. So, and I think I
saw a few people point that out.
And one of the backstage promo segments, when they do their walkthroughs, you could just see Dom in the background talking to Nick Aldis. So maybe there is a couple of seeds that divide's going to happen very soon.
Now, I'm going to just quick question here. Let's not go on to it too much because we are still talking about Survivor Series. So, real quick question. Yes or no? Is it time for Dominic Mysterio to be a single superstar on his own?
100%. I love it.
I agree. 100%. Dirty Dom. Time for you to go, mate. Do your own thing.
I think we're at the
Stage where Dom could almost turn back to a good guy now.
Oh, I don't want him to.
He's been such a good bad guy that people like him now.
I love him. I love him so, and I want to see him
win stuff.
Totally.
You know what I mean? It's hard. Like I love him being such a piece of garbage.
Yes.
But I also like. Yeah, but it's like when Eddie did that, and then after a while, everyone was like, "No, we love Eddie. Well, it's Eddie being silly. Go Eddie!" And it's like, then all of a sudden, it's like he's kind of a good guy all of a sudden out of nowhere.
Yeah,
Dom's in that territory where
He's been so good.
I still want him to stay with the heel because he is such a sleazy with the big
Yeah, he
mullet
is.
and the dirty mo. You are just like, get out of there, you sleaze bag. So I want him to stay with that. But I do agree. I love to hate the guy, and now I am slowly turning to like, man, I love this
Dude,
dude.
if he wins
Money in the Bank next year, I'm going to be like pumped.
would
And
not
I
be-
reckon everybody would
be
be.
as
I
well,
wouldn't be sad. It's
He's
good,
going to be
you
the
know?
best like holder of that briefcase that we've had for a long time.
Absolutely,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
So there's just stuff like that where I'm like, well,
maybe 6, 9, maybe in a year's time. Maybe
it does turn back to a good
go.
guy.
Who knows?
Now, we did get a bit sidetracked
Sorry.
here on Dominic. We are big
We'll
fans.
go back
to the War Games matches.
The women's war games.
Yeah.
Morgan, Rodriguez, Jax, Stratton, and Lorraine.
And yes, I am reading this. I couldn't memorize it. Versus Rhea Ripley, Belair, Naomi, Sky, and Bailey.
What did you think of the match? And I want to know your MVP.
Of the match too.
I'm going to have to say Mami is the MVP of the match. I mean, she came in, she did such a, you know, her when she
I
comes
loved
in
her
and-
mask with
Oh,
the devil horns.
wasn't it?
That
I
went
would
all the
love
way
to get
back.
into
Oh,
that.
she looks so good, man.
Fantastic. So good. And it's good to have Mami come back into the picture of what she brings to everything. You know, I believe like once she got in the ring, everyone sort of had to be like, wow, we got
to lift our games a bit. Yeah,
Exactly. We have to lift together.
As like JR used to say, business has picked up. Like they're here.
As they
it's
should,
happening.
you know, and Mami brings it. So like she's my MVP for the match, but how the match was, I'm gonna say was good. I think we do need to
There's a
go
but
on to
in
the
there.
subject on the few chair shots that were dealt out throughout them. You got to comment on some of them chair shots.
There
at
was
all,
one that
Sharpy?
Naomi did that I thought was embarrassing.
It was like this.
Yeah.
Come on, lay it in.
Yeah.
You're at War Games. Lay it in.
Guys, I kind of get this because in the background, you know, taking down that third wall, whatever else you want to call it, they are friends backstage. So for us to not, for them to not really like give them a good old hiding with a chair, you can understand it. But
Nah,
at the
so I
same
I
time,
completely disagree. If me and you were wrestling and you're like, dude, just hit me hard.
Yeah.
Oh, all right, man. Here it comes. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? All right, dude, you asked me to. Brace for it. Here she comes. Hey.
Now, we're seeing Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn best friends.
Exactly.
And they have both said to each other, hit me harder.
Beat
so
the
I
crap
see what
out of
you're
each other.
saying there, but at the same time, some of those chair shots were so reserved back, like you said, was just embarrassing. I mean, I think Nia Jax at one stage was just walking around and just sort of tapping
them.
people with the chair.
Yeah.
And that's what spoiled it for me.
It takes you out of the match because it is literally War Games. It's meant to be 10 people that don't get along, that are all going in as 5-on-5, as hard as they can to beat each other. And you look at the difference between the women's and the men's, and why the men's I felt like was so much better was because I actually believe that these guys don't like each other. And the
Yes.
storyline I felt like for the women's just in the lead up wasn't enough
It's
to
just
warrant a
pieces were
War
sort of
Games.
put together. It didn't
It's
really
like, okay,
sort of
we got
make a
War
bit of
Games coming up.
sense.
We better try and get a match sorted. Like, let's do it in 3 or 4 weeks. Whereas
Yeah.
obviously the men's has been going for 2.5 years. You know what I mean? So
yeah, it makes a lot more sense. So, I mean, I don't want to be too negative about the match because it did have its good points. But I think I'm sort of done talking there. So, do you want to rate
Io Sky's my MVP. I thought she was
Okay.
fantastic.
Yes,
And the fact that she's got a world title match now at Saturday night's main event, I felt like they made a point to make her look good.
Yes.
And the trash can on the head backflip off the cage is ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
Scary, ridiculous. And
Right.
she's done it like 3 times now
Yeah.
in War Games. She's like 4 or 5 War Games in now as well.
Wow,
She's done a
okay,
lot.
okay, yeah.
And I thought she was unreal. And obviously Tiffany Stratton doing the same on the other end. The Swanton, but I don't know what she calls it. But yeah, her version of the Swanton off the top too was great.
It was, and Tiffy's going to be a superstar. There's a long run that Tiffy's going to have, and I think she's going to maybe main event a show at some stage there. I don't know which show, but I think Tiffy is going to have her time. She's going to have her time to main event at some stage there.
And I think it's going to come quicker than we think. 'Cause she's going to cash in at Mania.
Oh, Sharpy! Wow!
Well, that would be Tiffy time, wouldn't it?
Would be Tiffy
Like that would be
time.
perfect.
So do you want to rate the match? How much would you give the match?
That's hard.
I'm going to go real quick while you're thinking, if you don't mind.
Go.
I'm going to go 6.
I was 6.5 for me.
Okay, cool. You're a bit more positive than me. It had its real good points, the backflips, the jumping off the top of the cage, which is just insane if you're actually there to see it.
Yeah.
But yeah, the chair shots just took so much away from me. I can't not sort of see that now in my mind when it comes to that match. So
as much as I like Candice LeRae too, I felt like she was misplaced in the match. She's done nothing yet, and like she's a good wrestler and she was good in NXT.
Yeah.
But I felt like because she's just kind of like the sidekick with like Jax and stuff. I don't know. I didn't like it.
Sort of just been thrown in the mix.
Yeah.
But then no real build up to why she's kind of there. I get you.
Just like an offsider that's not even really with them got chucked in. I was like, oh, surely we could have someone else in. But maybe they're struggling for numbers, or they could have even done like a surprise for the bad guys as well. Like you could have chucked in a bad guy surprise or something, but.
Got an example, or maybe a
not really, but maybe
someone coming back like Charlotte or someone. You know what I mean? Like,
okay.
I know she's okay and good to go, but you know maybe they're saving her for the Rumble or something. So I don't know what the go is there, but there's plenty of other options that they could have used. I just can't think of
a lot of other options for the women's War Games match that we had. So let's move on. I think it's time to do it.
Yeah, let's do it.
The men's War Game match.
I thought it was fantastic.
Agree. I thought it was absolutely fantastic. I mean, do you want to elaborate more? You go for it.
I thought the whole story of Punk coming in late as well, and then Paul Heyman coming in like the week or two before, just all came together perfectly. Like just the build up, the story. They're still, Roman's still chasing that Ulafala as well. Like he's trying to get to Solo.
Yep.
I love that Bronson Reed, another Adelaide boy, was in the main event of Survivor Series in War Games. Like
facing Roman Reigns.
So good, man.
We've seen him live
here in Adelaide,
and where this man has come from, to seeing him live in Adelaide, to now being on a main event stage versus a megastar like Roman Reigns and the Usos and Sami Zayn and CM Punk. Oh, mate.
It couldn't have gone any better.
Incredible. It couldn't have gone any better for his career, and we're so happy for him being an Adelaide lad, and we're from Adelaide as well. We're Adelaide boys. So do you want to touch on how the match went?
Yeah, I enjoyed
highlights.
Talk about like highlights, like just so they load in all the bad guys into the shark cage to start off with. And then you get, it was Jimmy and Sammy come out, and then Punk comes out, walks up to
Bronson Reed and shoves him in the face, and that was like blood in the water. The bad guys just go crazy.
Jacob Fatu jumps onto the top of the cage, just trying to kick Punk through it. Bronson's like, I'm going to get you. And you can just see Jimmy like giving him the finger off at the side. Like that's what Punk does that's so good. He's such a good instigator, and he would have thought of that before he went out.
Well, supposedly that was completely unscripted.
Exactly.
So he just felt like he obviously needed to bring something to it, and he brought it. Totally agree.
It just made it feel so, like, talk about bringing you into the match. Like, things earlier taking us out of it. That was like, oh, man. And that's why I've always loved Punk, because he just does the little things like that he's not going to tell them beforehand, but he's just going to walk up to someone, shove him in the face, poke him in the eye, flip him off, do something to make him go crazy, and then everyone in the crowd's like, oh man, it's on.
Yes.
This is on, dude. I can't wait.
Totally.
So to start on that note, I thought was fantastic. And then again with Punk and like Roman, just like I'm going, no you're not. Sammy, off you go, and Sammy's like, oh, this isn't good, man.
There's tension here, and
just
then
the whole story of that.
Sammy was very reluctant to move away. Now, I don't know if you guys have seen out there, but they did do a lot of footage.
The GoPros
of Punk and Roman that were left inside of the cage, and Punk was just staring at Roman for ages. Roman's just sitting there with a smug look on his face.
And then like Punk's leaning against the cage, looking on the outside, like, nah, we're not friends. I hate you. Sort of thing. It's great.
And like you can just tell as the Bloodline do and as Roman do, there's just layers in the storyline upon layers upon layers upon layers that they just did from that single shark cage moment alone together.
You could set up a whole feud just on that, man.
Just on that alone.
Just on the
questioning his authority sort of thing.
And that's not even like chipping in Paul Heyman.
No.
That's not chipping in the Usos. That's not chipping in the favour that now CM Punk is owed. That's not doing anything. It's literally just Roman blocking CM Punk from going out of the cage. That's a match right there waiting to happen.
100%.
And I can't wait for it.
Dude, it'll be unreal.
I'm pumped to see Roman and CM Punk go against each other.
At some stage next year, it's got to happen, surely.
It has to. I think it has to because
Just
it's
based
already
on-
money.
Just based on Paul Heyman.
That's all it is. You just have a feud of those two wanting Paul Heyman. Paul going, I love you both, don't make me pick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Fantastic.
So once again, straight away, let's bring it back. Sorry, we do get a bit sidetracked.
The match.
Guys, so bring it back.
What did you think of the match?
I love the match. I mean, I think we have to touch on our boy Bronson Reed jumping off the top of a cage.
Oh, man.
So this guy is just, he shouldn't be doing things like that. I mean, he would be over 100 kgs easily, and this man's
he'd be
jumping off the top of a
150.
cage.
Yeah.
And the way that he landed, he completely probably shattered his ankle, would we say?
It looks bad because he doesn't tuck his. The only mistake he made is he had to just tuck his knees back. So he had to just get his feet, and he kind of fell, landed on his foot,
And his foot just snaps up.
I felt like that he wanted to land a bit more to take a bit more of the brunt off where he's landed on the actual table. Because I think you're being such a big guy, when you land on that table, even though it's plywood and it pretty much shatters, that's still going to bloody well hurt.
I feel like they should have set up 2 tables.
That's a good
Just
call.
to break it. I mean, he's a heavy dude, but like, you can get those tables to have a little bit more oomph in them. You can tape them up a bit just to, so it takes a bit of
That's right.
the pressure of the fall away
from his body. But
Maybe even not so plywood, if that makes sense, and then make the middle of it a little bit more sturdier.
Yeah.
So when people were getting set up on the table, you can slowly see it sort of
bowing.
bend in.
Yeah.
But with a big dude like that, maybe have a little bit more of a sturdier table so it does sort of crash down a bit more. So
The spot was amazing.
Amazing.
And Punk saved Roman at the last second. Oh my God! I thought he was going to land on Roman's legs. It was that close.
Yeah.
It was such a good spot.
Punk was
if
so.
Roman didn't move and you got landed on by
Roman's legs would have been broken too.
Oh yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
That would have been
smashed in.
catastrophic.
Now, with jumping off the top of the cage, let's go on to Jey Uso. So Jey Uso did the same thing
Broke
with
his
the
toe.
Uso splash.
Yeah.
And then the way he landed, once again, like you said, you sort of got to bend your knees a bit more. I think he came down and smashed his big toe, something crazy.
He did that. Well, I thought, watching the replay, I thought he did that perfectly.
It looked like
he
did it
jumps
well.
and like almost floats for a second as he levels, but obviously just the impact of hitting the ground, even though he does tuck his legs back because that's how they do the splash.
Yes.
But I think just the impact of landing, he's like literally just like stubbed his toe right on the end.
And it looks bad,
And
it
he's
does.
cracked it in half or whatever. But yeah, I thought that spot was incredible too.
Yes.
Like, he did that perfectly, and I thought that the match was fantastic. Sami Zayn, Jey Uso, and Jimmy Uso teaming again was just, oh man, it felt right.
It felt right, didn't it? And I've always thought that it was very rushed how they were putting these together. I mean, I've been for the last couple of months against Jey Uso being in the bloodline and doing what they need to do and taking the title off him so quickly. I've always been against that, and I hope Jey has another singles run on his own because he totally 100% deserves it.
Yep.
But when I saw that War Games match come together, the pieces just fit together in that puzzle so well. And you just feel the old school camaraderie, joking around between Sami and the Usos.
Yep.
I mean, you could just sort of know that they have traveled together throughout time, so they do have that brotherly bond.
Yeah, they got the chemistry, like you said.
Yeah,
They've got great
and
chemistry.
you saw them in the ring, even when the handshake started coming out with the old school
I
stuff.
love that
It's
shit,
like,
man.
yes, all of it does come together quite well. Now, I think we are skipping over something that needs to be brought up, and that's Jacob Fatu.
Fantastic.
So good.
He's an animal, and I can't wait to see what 2025 has in store for him. I think that'll be his breakout year.
I think it's going to be his breakout year. I mean,
This whole year's just been like the introductory of Jacob Fatu.
of the werewolf.
The
yes.
stuff that he can do, his athleticism is off the charts.
Unbelievably.
But even like, is it Tonga Loa when he came in the cage?
He climbed across the front of it and was going,
Just unreal. Just love that craziness stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I thought that was fantastic. So, but yeah, next
and then
year will be
him
Jacob's
jumping
year.
off the cage as well, and when he landed, it seriously to me looked like he did a number on his knee. I mean, I thought straight away that guy's in a bad way.
He's missing at the moment. He wasn't on SmackDown, was he?
No, he was there. Yeah,
he?
he was there.
Okay.
So we looked at some of the footage online, pretty much like a week or maybe a few days afterwards. He's completely fine. It's just the way that that
got
man
lucky.
sold that was just unbelievable. I mean, he went down and he grabbed his knee and we thought, oh no, this guy's in a bad way.
it.
Only a couple of months ago, he shattered his leg or hurt his leg jumping off the top turnbuckle and landing on the announce table.
Yeah.
So maybe he thought, okay, I remember that pain. I'll start bringing it back.
Maybe rotate just a little bit more
to save
myself.
See how we go. But the way that he sold that was incredible. Now, I'm going to have to ask you the question of, we all know the whole storyline behind it because it's with the Solo. So Solo getting involved in the match. What was your thoughts on all of that?
So probably like 3 or 4 months ago when we started this, and we both said that, I like to say that I was right, but I said that the new bloodline needs a big win. They got it at Crown Jewel.
Yes.
They beat Roman. They pinned him in the middle of the ring,
Yeah.
which made Solo feel like a bit more of a threat.
It's great for his resume, yeah.
Great for his resume.
Uh-huh.
And then obviously they were going to get one back now at War Games. I think right now Solo Sikoa, for me, has been doing the best work so far.
Yes.
He's really turned it around. I think about 4 or 5 months ago when Roman still hadn't come back yet, and they were kind of feuding with Cody, and it was kind of like, who cares? But now it's like, I don't know, the work that Roman is doing is matched by Solo. Solo's been just as good on the mic.
I think getting better.
I
think he's getting better.
It's experience. He's getting better with experience.
Totally. And as the character of his tribal chief evolves, it's only getting better.
I agree
Now,
with
I think when he first came out, he was wearing suit shirts.
And he probably wasn't ready in real life. He was like, crap, I've been with Roman for a year and I haven't said a word, and now they want me to go out and hold promos all by myself?
Figure it out. So,
sick. All right.
As he's sort of evolving now, you see him wearing the plain t-shirts or even the skivvies and then the dress shirt over the top of it. Yep. Now he's starting to evolve into the character that he then needs to be of the tribal chief. Yep. And you see his young bloodline, I'm going to call it that, his younger bloodline behind him is now starting to follow him. The pieces are starting to fit in. Because I didn't like it at the start.
Correct. We both didn't really.
Doing? Why is he the tribal chief? This is just reusing something. Why are they then the bloodline? You're just reusing something. I'm just not digging it.
Yep.
After War Games, it all made sense.
I'm digging it, yeah.
It all made sense. The path that they took us down, I was like, this isn't making sense. As soon as we got there, wow. Why was I doubting it?
In Triple H, we should trust.
We should trust in Triple H, absolutely.
All right, let's wrap it up pretty quick because we're due for the start time. The match, the ending, I thought was great. They took out, Bronson took himself out. Fatu was taken out by Jimmy in the big splash. The Tongans got taken out, and then we were left with Solo in the ring to just eat crap from everybody. I thought it was fantastic.
Loved it.
The way that Punk served him up on a silver platter for Roman to spear the crap out of him was great.
Yep.
And then just the ending, they're all holding it. It was just great. I thought the ending was perfect.
Perfect.
And I can't wait to see Roman versus Solo on Netflix.
I can't wait to see Roman versus Solo, but more so, I can't wait to see Roman versus CM Punk. Let's do that. Give that
Roman
to us,
versus
WWE.
Jacob Fatu one-on-one.
Wow. Wow.
The Tongans versus the Usos again.
Oh my God. So many possibilities. Layers. Layers upon layers
What
upon layers.
What did you give it out of 10?
All right. Out of 10, I'm going to have to say a 9.
Yeah, I'll give it a 9 as well.
Yep.
I thought it was great.
Yep.
There was only one or two little things
that were that's going to happen in a War Games when there's 10
dudes in 2 rings. You can only keep up with so much.
That's right.
They're always going to be sort of tough to book, but they did such a good job. It was one of the matches of the year. I thought it was fantastic.
Oh, for sure. Agree.
All right, thanks for watching, guys. We've got Saturday night's main event to watch.
Make sure you leave a comment in the comment
section below. Leave us a like too, and let us know what did you guys think of each of the matches. We will see you guys in the next one. Bye for now. Peace.